Hey, say it's a merry way day, up the way, your way. Sun is up, happy, happy, happy day.
There he is, Al Pacino.
You know that when an audience sees a movie that is a comedy, or a dark comedy, whatever you want, or a tragic comedy, a tragedy with a little humor in it, it needs the reaction. I mean, certainly if you're in a play and you're doing a comedy or a play that, a lot of plays are dramas, but they also have humor in them, which is what makes them, it's part of what helps you in the dramatic things. And you always try to find some humor in it. But without an audience, it's very hard. You know, just me and Phillip Roth, not too funny, I don't think. So we like it. And a very well-known critic saw the picture twice, by the way, and told Barry Levinson, not me, that the first time he saw it, he was in a sort of room with a couple of people, in a dark room, and saw it. And then he saw it at a festival with Barry Levinson. And he said that he didn't, it was a different movie to him. So it really is an interesting, just as an aside. I'm going on a long time.
That's okay, they came to hear you talk. So now you developed this from the start, right?
Yeah, well, I read the book and I thought that John Berner, my agent, told me there's a book that might interest you about by Phillip Roth, who is, of course, my favorite American writer. And I thought, well, sure. So I read it. But it was about an actor, you know. So I thought, gee, is it possible that I could make this into a film? Because at least it's a little something that I know about, you know. An actor on the way out, you know. So I think of the feelings and all, and the world it's in. Like it's kind of interesting. It's sort of my wheelhouse, so to speak, and that we are familiar with the territory, so it would be fun to see if we could adapt it to a movie. Because it's an advantage to know the world you're making a movie about. It is an advantage.
Well, you've done a lot of theater. I mean, do you have theater nightmares? Do you talk to yourself in your dressing room mirror?
Oh, I do a hell of a lot more than that. I'm out in the streets between acts, you know, doing my stuff. Oh yeah, I've had these experiences. Of course, I speak from experience. I mean, I was in a play one time, and I actually did say, I was in a Shakespeare play. I've done quite a few Shakespeare plays, and I was in the middle of this one, and I said, my lord, so-and-so. And I realized that I went into another Shakespeare play. And I thought, oh, fuck, I'm in Hamlet. So I'm doing it, and then I'm doing it, and I thought, well, how do I get out of this? And then I realized an old Shakespearean trick. In the old days, all the actors who played Shakespeare would learn 8 to 10 lines, random, and they'd go to those lines when they went up, when they forgot their words in the play. Because, you know, it doesn't sort of matter, because the audience doesn't understand what you're saying. There you go.
So with this one, I mean, you did this pretty quickly, right? Did you have time to
Not
work?
necessarily quickly. We did it in a short, not many shooting days, but we did it in increments over a few months, about 4 or 5 months we did it over. I had to do another picture. Barry was busy doing something. And so we would meet and we would sort of film for a few days, go away, come back again, 4 or 5 days, do it. Barry liked that a lot too, because it captured a certain spirit, and he thought the film should be made like that. Because we made this movie in 20 days for under $2 million, by the way. Yeah. So there's a pony in all that little shit. I think so.
So, did the stopping and starting Was it okay with you?
Oh yeah, as I say, part of the things, it took us a few years to get the script and all, so there was a lot of interchanging and interfacing with Buck, and it took years. And so there was a familiarity that came with all of that, as well as a familiarity with the world that we were, you know, interpreting, portraying. And so it made certain things easier, I have to say. You know, it made the shoot. And Barry is so much fun to work with because you never know what he's going to do. And I've worked with him before. I did he wrote a movie I did a long time ago called And Justice for All. Barry Levinson. And then we did Jack Kevorkian off HBO. So I had a familiarity with him, you know. And so we do speak somewhat shorthand, and it helped. But again, we were. I like that he changes things. When you get there, all of a sudden he'll just say, "Oh, I don't know that that's working." And it's not rehearsal. You know, we're shooting it. So he says, "Okay, try something. Try this, or say some of this in your own words."
Did you have much rehearsal? Did you have
no rehearsal.
To work with
One doesn't rehearse anymore. That's it. I mean, I don't know if there are actors in this audience, but you don't rehearse anymore. And I mean, I come from the old Lumet films, Sidney Lumet films they did in the 70s. I mean, he was quick. I mean, he did a movie in 5-6 weeks. You know, that's what he liked. He was like, he was a wild man on the camera, you know, and he was so sure of what he wanted. However, we rehearsed 3 weeks or a month with the cast. We rehearsed it. So we were ready so he could do all his stuff. But today, I can tell a story about it. It's funny. Well, the thing is, today it goes so fast. I mean, you really, you're doing movies in 6 weeks, and you're meeting the people on the set. I met Greta on the set of the last scene of the picture. I think I did. Well, I love Greta Gerwig. I think she's a great, she's a real artist, and she really is, and she made such adjustments and adapted to it. But this was, I believe, up her alley. I think she liked to do a movie like this. And I think that, and she was also mercifully not into small talk, which I kind of like that. You know, you small talk around the set a lot. And you find yourself, you know, oh, they're calling me to work? Oh, I got to do the scene where he tears his eyes out? No, I've just been talking with my friend about politics. I'm being cute. But sometimes, though, it is a good idea to, when you have to do a big, bad, tough scene, to talk about other things and be happy and change your mood. It sometimes really helps when you go into the serious stuff. But she didn't like to talk much, and I don't either. And I'm very happy having a camper. We didn't have a camper on this one, because most of it was shot in Barry Levinson's house. So I had a bedroom there. And you know, we were out there waiting for a shot. This is when I really fell for her. We were out in this sports car, about a half a mile from the camera. We were sitting there, and she still wasn't talking. And I was sitting in the car, and I wasn't talking to her. And it was cold, and the top was down off the convertible. We just kept sitting there waiting. And they had the walkie-talkie in the car to tell us when to go, you know. So we'd hear rolling, and then we'd hear action, and then we would just drive the car. So we were sitting there for the longest time. And she and I sitting there, not saying a word. And then she went down into her bag or something right there. And she pulled out a book and started to read it. So that was sort of the ultimate for me. I've never seen anything like that. And I was inspired.
Here he is, Al Pacino. Got it. Yep.
Hey, Attica, right? This is Attica. Attica, this is Attica. And then all of a sudden the crowd starts going, ah!